Debt is one of the most misunderstood tools in finance because most people see loans as something dangerous by default. And in many cases, they are right. Debt can destroy wealth, create financial stress, and lead to long-term instability when used without control or purpose. But there is another side to debt that is often ignored, where borrowing is not a trap, but a tool. When used strategically, debt becomes a form of leverage, and the key difference is purpose. Most people use debt for consumption cars, luxury items, impulse spending, and things that lose value over time. This is often called bad debt because the liability remains even after the value of the purchase disappears, leaving financial pressure behind without creating any future return. Wealthy individuals, however, often use debt differently by borrowing to acquire assets that can grow, generate income, or increase in value over time. This is the concept of leveraging borrowed money to create larger financial outcomes than would be possible using only personal capital. Real estate is one common example where financed properties can appreciate in value while also generating rental income over time. Businesses also use leverage in a structured way, where loans help fund expansion. Systems, equipment, or operations that can generate future cash flow. In these cases, debt is not the goal itself. The goal is productive borrowing, where money is used to build assets rather than liabilities, allowing financial growth to continue beyond the initial investment. Another critical factor is cash flow, because a loan only becomes powerful when the asset it funds produces income. If the income generated is enough to cover repayments, the debt becomes sustainable and structured. But without cash flow, debt turns into pressure, and that pressure often leads to financial instability and emotional decision-making. Interest rates also play a major role in determining whether debt is helpful or harmful, because not all loans carry the same cost. High-interest debt, especially from credit cards used for consumption, can quickly destroy financial progress. However, lower interest, well-managed borrowing can create opportunities for growth when paired with strong financial planning and discipline. Risk management is another essential principle, because leverage amplifies outcomes in both directions. It can increase profits, but it can also increase losses when used carelessly. That is why borrowing without structure is dangerous, while borrowing with clear planning. Income stability and defined goals can create meaningful financial opportunities over time. One of the most common mistakes people make is over-leveraging, taking on too much debt too quickly without sufficient income or stability. This creates vulnerability and financial stress, especially when unexpected changes occur. Smart leverage always requires a margin of safety, including emergency savings, stable cash flow, controlled exposure to financial risk. Another important shift is mindset, because financially successful individuals do not view debt as free money or a shortcut. Instead, they see it as a tool that requires skill, responsibility, and careful decision-making. Just like any tool, debt can be used to build something valuable or cause damage if handled incorrectly. Before taking any loan, the most important question becomes return on investment. Will this borrowed money create value greater than its cost? If the answer is yes, the debt can become productive. If the answer is no, it becomes a financial burden that reduces long-term stability instead of improving it. Another often overlooked truth is that debt, when used correctly, can accelerate wealth creation. Without leverage, building assets can take significantly longer, but with structured borrowing, growth can be scaled and expanded more quickly. However, this speed comes with increased responsibility, which is why education and financial awareness are essential. The final principle is balance, because debt should support financial growth, not control or dominate your life. The ultimate goal is financial freedom, not financial pressure, and that only happens when borrowing is used with intention, structure, and discipline, rather than emotion or impulse. 3 major insights emerge clearly. First, debt can build wealth when used for assets instead of consumption. Second, cash flow and discipline determine whether leverage becomes successful or dangerous. Third, smart borrowing requires strategy, not emotion or impulse. In the end, wealthy individuals do not simply borrow more, they borrow better. With systems, planning, and clear purpose guiding every financial decision.